Howdy folks, it's Matt Manish here. Now you're probably asking, Matt Manish, why are you wearing a kamikaze headband? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because it goes along with the topic for today. And the topic for today is the katana. Now, this magical katana that for some reason tons of people love and say can cut through swords, which probably has to do with Kill Bill, cut through swords and cut through armor and stuff. Well, that's impossible, okay? You can't cut through good armor. I mean, it just doesn't work like that. But, okay, now here's my problem with the katana. Essentially, all swords are sharpened pieces of metal. Now, I know there's a lot more that goes into them than that, but that's essentially all they are. People are like, oh, well, the katana's folded with the steel and it makes it all better. Well, the reason they originally did that was because the Japanese had poor steel quality, so they folded it to make it better, which did make it better. And now that we have good steel, and when we fold the good steel, it makes it really good steel. So that's where that comes up with. But that just really means better blade retention. I mean, it's not going to help you slice through bodies or armor or cut swords in half, which is extremely hard to do. Now, when people think about katana, at least if you're a fantasy myth lover person and you're a fanboy, you would probably think of a real long sword that if you hold like this will go down to your feet. No, a katana's blade is only 30 to 32 inches. The reason why people think it's long is because you hold it with two hands. It's just it's a two-handed short sword, really. Well, short sword, I'm using that lightly, loosely. I'm using that term loosely. So, when people think of the really long ones, you're thinking of the nodachi or nodashi, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but it's no better than the long sword. Really, it isn't. Really, one's curved and one's straight, which for some reason people think just because the longsword's straight means it can't cut very well. It cuts freaking amazingly. Then the katana's great. It's curved. You know, you have less resistance as you go in because less of the blade is contact with the body. So as you slice through, there's less friction because less of the blade's surface area is touching the object. But people bring up Sergeant Arlie Ermey's test with a katana, where he uses it against the longsword. I might put up a link for it. But whenever he does all these tests, when he goes in to swing the longsword, on the high-speed camera, you can tell that the blade is dull. Just watch it for yourself and you will see that it is dull, which obviously a sharpened sword will cut through something a lot better than a blunt sword. And another thing, when he pierces through the breastplate, breastplates can't be pierced that easily. He was using like a really thin, just really cheap, probably something that would cost someone like $50 to get. And the reason why the katana pierced through it better is because it's stiffer, so it's not going to bend as much and it will pierce through something better. But that's not true in real life. You can't puncture armor by just poking. You know, there's in the historical manuscripts, they never tell you to hit the armor or bash through the armor. They always tell you to haft it and poke at it. And I don't have any of the swords around here, but you would poke into the soft spots, like the armpits, the neck if you weren't wearing a gorget or frog, you know, behind the arms, the bottom of the knees, you know, just all that sort of thing. And another thing about the katana that I don't like, I'm not dissing the katana, I think it's a great sword, but it's the guard. The guard is a disc. Now, that's not going to cover your hand very well, but people are like, oh, well, it covers the sides of your hands. Well, get a long sword with rings on the side. I mean, come on. You know, you have the cross guard, which offers great protection out and on the back, and if you put rings on it, you cover the sides of your hands. And also, you can use that offensively to punch. You can haft it and hook the legs, hook the arms, hook the weapons out, and you can use it as almost a club to bash down. Well, that's a little more rambling than I wanted it to be, but thanks for watching. Make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time.